Welcome to AAUW Conversation and Connection. I'm Sharon Watson Hamilton. We have this little program, thank you to ACTV, but AAUW stands for the American Association of University Women. We're a nonprofit organization here in Auburn, California, and we promote equity and education in young girls and women. And we're a happy part of the community, and March is a happy month. We have Pi Day tomorrow for 3/14. We have St. Patrick's Day on Sunday, and we can't wear green here in the studio, but everybody should wear green on Sunday because everybody's Irish on the 17th. And then we have Easter at the end of the month. So it's a very joyful and spring and colorful month, and we want you all to enjoy it. So with that, this show is a little more joyful. We're going to talk about all things AAUW. I don't have a specific conversation today. We're going to talk about multiple things, and my guest is one of our hardest working members, Pam Hart. Hello, Pam.
Hi, Sharon.
I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you.
And I really do mean that when I say really one of the hardest working members of our organization, and we will soon get into why. So we're going to just talk about the first thing on our agenda is our Trivia Bee is coming up. And I drove through town early this morning, and our Trivia Bee sign is across the street. Is that Elm or Lincoln or High or wherever that is, right around the clock tower. And so the town knows about the Trivia Bee. We're in our 13th year or something like that.
We had those few hiatus years.
Right, where we took off for COVID and stuff. But yeah, it's exciting. It's always a fun time. And so you are, I would say, leader of the pack, if you will, this year. And so tell us all about what you know about the bee.
Well, I'm co-leader of
the pack. There's lots of leaders. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
And this year, I think we have a really fun theme. It's famous families.
Oh, that is fun. Okay.
And I can't wait to see what the questions are going to be around the famous families. I mean, you could go anywhere with this theme.
Yeah.
And I even heard hints of even flower families.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be people families.
Right.
So it just is very broad. Have to be ready for any type of question.
Yeah.
Our teams have been studying hard. And I don't know how you study for this kind of...
I know.
I'm so glad I get to be behind the scenes.
I know. This year I am part of the questions, so I have to be very careful what I say today. But because I've done different roles as you have, and I like a little more quiet behind the scenes. Like my job is kind of done. They're worked out. But it's such a fun theme. It really is. So anyway, I love it. So
it sounds like a very fun evening.
Yes.
And again, we'll be having our catering done by Penguins.
And did they do that last year?
Yes, they did.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure.
And they have just been stellar for us. They've come through for us every year.
Okay.
And we're looking forward to it. And we have a little twist this year. Instead of the Penguins people serving, we're going to have a Girl Scout troop come in.
Okay.
We thought that was very appropriate for our families.
Right, for families theme. That sounds like a great idea.
And I think it's a good idea for Auburn to know that there is actually a Girl Scout troop in Auburn.
Well, sweetie, they can just go buy cookies in front of the Save Mart store. I'm sorry, that's where I find them. Right. But yeah, you're right. I think it's an underserved group, so that'll be fun.
Not as much exposure as
are they going to stay for the bee, or are they just going? Okay, all right, that'll be fun.
So it will be a little bit different this year, but fun.
Yeah, family style.
Yes, definitely. So get your tickets now. You can get them at Roper's Jewelers.
Both Roper's by Bel Air and downtown.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And anywhere else?
Online.
At
our AAUW website.
Yes, let's see. I always have to look this website up, but you could always Google, I guess,
Yeah.
Auburn, California, AAUW. But our branch website is auburn-ca.aauw.net. So, anyway, and they can go online and get tickets that way.
They can.
Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I talked to Susan Rushton, who
Uh-huh.
is in charge of the teams, and I talked to her this morning because I go for coffee and walking most mornings, not every morning, and I certainly don't walk like I used to. But we grabbed a team of young men that come in the coffee shop.
Oh, how fun.
They're so fun.
Yeah.
And so we hit them up, and they got their form filled out and the money to me today, and I called Susan. And so right now we're sitting at about 17 teams.
All right.
Yeah. So
it's kind of like a community challenge.
yes.
Too.
Yeah.
Because different service groups will form a team,
Yeah.
individuals can form a team,
Yeah.
but it's always nice to have that winner and have that winner have to defend their crown the next year.
That's right. And the winners, so of those 17 teams that have paid quite a bit of money to play this silly little trivia game with us, but you're right, it's a community pride kind of thing because we have the supervisors, we have Cindy Gustafson, I think, is on it. Is she on a team this year, I think, with Jim and Mike
Yeah.
Holmes?
Uh-huh.
So we have some Rotary, I don't know,
Lions Club.
Lions, and last year's winner,
The Lions Club.
a Lions Club,
Mhm.
and they get their entry this year free.
Mhm.
If you win, you get the following year entry free. So that's
Right.
kind of fun.
Because they have to come back and
I
defend
know
their
to
title.
defend the title.
Yeah.
So that's I think really fun, and of course there's a huge trophy. Well, maybe
Wow.
not. Anyway, there's a sweet trophy that we perpetual. So we put the name of the team on the side of it, and it keeps going every year. So, okay, so, and that is Saturday the 23rd, so
At
Oh,
5:30.
like 10 days away, because today's the 13th,
Yes.
at 5:30 at the First Congregational Church.
Mhm.
Parking is free.
Mhm.
You can buy tickets at the door, but they're $55 instead of $50 at Roper's and all that,
Mhm.
and a little less planning for them, but we certainly want you to come regardless. Anything else about the B right now that we need? Famous families, fun.
There is still time to form a team.
There is. We still have room for about 3 more teams.
Right.
Yeah. So,
And contact Susan Rushton.
yes,
For that.
yes, contact Susan. And let's see, do I have a phone number? Denizens? Anyway, we will get that information to you. She's just delightful to be in charge of that, and yeah, so that'd be good. Okay, so that's one topic, and that's a major fundraiser for our scholarship programs. And
it's scholarships for young women going to colleges, re-entry women.
right, the high school
From Sierra College. And also for our Tech Trek.
Tech Trek girls, yeah,
Yeah.
and our speech trek now too, probably.
Right.
So,
Right.
so we have a number of educational endeavors
Mhm.
that we need to support. Plus, we're an organization, for crying out loud. We just don't work on a dime, right? So we have to raise money as a general budget item too. I feel like that statement sounded like I was working for the state. Oh well. But anyway, so it's an important fundraiser. It's a fun fundraiser, and it's a community involvement kind of thing. So now the next topic, AAUW is quite involved in our general and primary elections. We just finished with the primary elections, and again, cheers to this lady. She was one of the main senior aides, I guess they called them this year.
Mhm.
So it was quite a bit bigger adventure this year. Can I put it that way?
Mhm.
I always think how exhausting you must have been. But tell us a little bit about your role on that. Can you?
As a senior aide, we were required to be there all day for 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
There are different voting centers this year. Some are open for 11 days, some for 4 days. Our one in Meadow Vista was only open for 4 days. So that was doable. We made that happen.
We did.
Yes.
But we made it happen because we shared with League of Women Voters.
Yes.
and our other member for us was Norma Sexton, and you two were our primary go-to senior aides that were there the whole time. And
it's wonderful to be able to work the elections like this because we do get compensated, and that also goes to our scholarships.
Yeah.
And so it's so wonderful to be able to partner with League of Women Voters just to get enough manpower, because at least this way, people can just work for shifts.
Right.
Other people besides the senior aides, 3 hours, 4 hours at a time.
Yeah.
So service clubs are allowed to do that for the elections.
And I was one of the ones that worked a shift, if you will, and we don't get paid, nor does Pam or Norma. I mean, we give all that money to our service club of AAUW or League of Women Voters or whomever you might be working for. On a previous show, we did talk a lot with Stacy Robinson from the elections office, and I know you know this too, Pam. Our Placer County elections, I think, are stellar.
I think so too.
I just think they're wonderful to work with and for, and feel very comfortable and secure that everything is going the way it should. And there was a nice article, I'll put a plug in for Muriel. There was a nice article in the local paper a couple weeks ago about her. I just thought she was sweet. At first I didn't think so. I used to think, oh, she's a teacher and she's, yelling at me and I can't ask questions. But I warmed up as we got to know each other over the years, and she's just done this forever.
She's just a wealth of knowledge.
She is.
Yeah.
She's very secure and a wealth of knowledge. Yeah. Very cute. Very cute. But kudos to you who were there the whole time. It used to be you would have one election day, and the senior aides, as they're called now, would be there for one day for 12 hours. Well, this was 4 days, 3 of which were 8 hours, and then the actual March 5th date was the 12-hour day. That's a lot of hours, and I know our group appreciates you for that. And a lot of manpower. It took more of us. There were less centers in the state and in the county, but more people. They required more of us. So it was like 5 a shift from AAUW, including yourself, so 4 in one, and then 5 from the other. So, yeah.
It's a way to get involved in your elections and see the actual process. So I encourage everyone. The elections department needs people all the time.
All the time, yeah.
So it's a really good way to get involved and see the electoral process.
Yeah, and we've got the other one coming up. We're already signed up. And are they going to do you know the format in the primary election? No, these are the primaries. The general election, is it going to be the 4 days? And
yes.
Do we know that? Okay. All right. You going to raise your hand again? You're thinking about it.
Yeah.
She cannot not raise her hand. I think it's delightful, and we are fortunate. You left us for a few years, and that wasn't right. That was totally wrong. She traveled and went off to other places and left us for a couple years. So we're glad you're back. So
jumping in with both feet.
You are not just with us, with a lot of things. So, but the elections are far behind us. We raise this money. It is a way to get a community involvement, which is a lot of our message as a group too. Not only do you want everybody to come on board with us, everybody should be part of every process, or as much as you can be.
As a community organization, we try to give back to the community too.
Yeah. So anyway, that was one thing I wanted to talk about. Okay, the third thing that we did, it was our second year to do Speech Trek. And the only reason I bring that up, not that you and I were that closely involved this year, because that is Susan Roughgarden's project, yeah. And she's so good at it, and it was a great event. But you are programmed, so again, Pam and a co-program with Carol Hockmeister, and so you're involved in that as well, where young ladies come and they had a subject that they had to talk on a certain amount of time, and it's a contest. There were 5 individual young ladies. It's not exclusive to young ladies. It could have been men too, or young men. But they had a topic and they had to present their point, just again to expose them. And then there was prize money for the top 3. And then the top person goes on to state, right? The state AAUW speech contest.
You know, I thought this year was especially productive because they actually had a speech coach.
I know.
That worked with the girls ahead of time. And I've been in Toastmasters for a long time. And you could see a lot of those same techniques that we use in Toastmasters that were passed down to these girls. And they were professional speakers.
They all did a great job.
I couldn't believe what a good job these girls did. And this will stay with them for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
And they say that is one of the biggest fears in life, is getting up in front of people and speaking.
Right.
So these girls have conquered that hurdle.
Yeah, the first hurdle, and they were all pleasantly poised. Not only via coaching, but it was a delightful event over at the Beecher Room at the library, and the coach that coached these young ladies was one of the judges. I don't know, but he came up and talked while things were going on behind the scenes. He was excellent. He was so effortless in his conversation with the audience, with his conversation with those young women.
He must be a professional speaker.
He must be. I think he is a teacher that teaches that kind of civic-minded chore, if you will. So yeah, that was another great event. We don't make money on that, but we support it, and it was.
And we do give the prize money to the girls.
Right, right, and so it was it's fun to see them move along on their journey, regardless of what position they were in.
Right.
It was a leap of good faith to get up in front of us.
And it's nice. This is our second year of doing this, and so the teachers at the high schools are understanding what we're doing now and can promote it a little bit better to the girls also.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's kind of an offshoot of our tech track, which we've been doing 20 years or better. And that's young girls. They're 13. They're between 7th and 8th grade, accurate. And that's coming up too. That's were you a dorm mom?
I was last
year. I thought you were. Yeah. I tell you. So and that's at UC Davis campus, which is exciting. Yeah. So that's another one that I will talk about at a later date. But again, these young ladies, through the teachers and the schools and our community of promoting that kind of event, it gets these young girls exposure to many other possibilities in life. Exactly. Yes. It's that's just exciting. Anyway, okay. So speech track was done a couple weeks ago. We had a busy last couple weeks, that's for sure. So I am going to move on to we have a national AAUW, a state AAUW, and then our branches. And at the national level, this year we are asked to vote via emails and stuff about the qualifications to join American University of Women. And they want to open it up to not only university people, and even now it's open to 2-year degree people, but we want to open it up to everyone. That's the vote. And I believe it needs, do you know the percentage?
Probably
60 or 66 even, maybe.
2/3.
Yeah, 2/3 is what I'm thinking. And I know there's a lot of people passionate on both sides of that issue. I don't know, Pam, can you talk, do you know anything more about that? That's coming up, and it's kind of
I think the rationale behind it is that why turn people away who believe in our mission?
Right.
and our mission is to create equity for women and girls, and not financial equity, job equity, social equity, all the equities. And if people believe in our mission, why shouldn't they be able to join?
How do we ask if they believe in our mission, though? I mean, how do we? I guess they wouldn't look our way if they didn't, right? Yeah, I can see that.
A lot of people are inspired by our tech track and our scholarships that we give to the ladies and so forth. So it's another way to welcome people in. And I know service clubs are declining all over the United States. So
that's the most compelling reason to open it up. It seems like it takes away our definition. Does that mean we need to change our name? Does it mean...
No, because we didn't change our name when we allowed men to
That's
join.
true. That's very true. You brought that up before, too, and that's a good point. Yeah. And we didn't change it when we opened it up to 2-year degrees.
Right.
So, good point on that. And then a few years back, if I remember right, they being they at the national level, they wanted us just to refer to ourselves as AAUW and not tell people what that stood for. I don't think that ever carried very far because people want to know what you are, right?
And they get it mixed up with AAU, which is swimming or something like that.
Yeah, or AA, I don't know.
Yeah.
So I think you're right that we didn't change our name before. No reason to change it. Just kind of change some of the reasons that we open our arms. And I know inclusiveness is important topic and discussion now. I don't know where I fall. I'm kind of 50-50 when I talk to you or Deb, who are more welcoming and not as stuffy as I might be sometimes in my thinking. I think, I worked hard for this, that kind of thing.
I think a lot of women, older women, who had to work hard, who went back to school to get their degrees, and really did find it to be a challenge. And this was one reward that they had, was being able to join AAUW.
Right, and it was our club, right?
Yeah.
So that you're right, and so that kind of. I'm 50-50, I think, now, which is a move in the right direction, right? I haven't voted yet. So paring it down more we'll go to another topic. And again, Pam is stellar on this. At our level, if you were to join us and be part of our organization, there are a lot of things you can do. And I remember joining because one of the things I really loved was I was not obliged to attend so many meetings a year, or I had to function at this level or that level. It was more, if you want to attend, fine. If you don't, fine. We'd love to have you get involved, but book sections was a big draw, and maybe that's all some people would do. So I loved that part of us. But what are some things, and you hold a position now, we both have been past presidents, lot on that level of our board and committees, and you hold a lot of that.
Well, joining the board at any level is one way to truly get involved and understand what AAUW is all about. And it's encouraged from the very beginning. We have a role for you.
Right. We try to be gentle because I don't want to scare people off, right?
But it's interesting that some people just do jump in.
They do,
And we're going to be having elections coming up, and we need people on the board. We're going to be having a new president coming up, and it's always a way to just understand. And also, our board members are open to any member who wants to attend. It's not a secret board meeting or anything like that.
Yeah.
But understanding the functioning of AAUW, that is one way to become acquainted with everything, is coming to a board meeting.
Yeah. Anyway, program. It's a fun position.
That's what I'm doing right now. Co-program.
With Carol.
Yeah.
And it's probably my favorite position actually, but it's a lot of work. So, but we don't want to discourage anybody. We would love people to come on board with that. So, so the final topic, and it makes me smile, our 75th, our Auburn group we chartered in 1949, so our 75th anniversary of AAUW Auburn is this year, and we're having our celebration on Sunday, April 28th. And so it's a Diamond Jubilee, which is, okay, that speaks well. And it makes me smile because your mother was not necessarily a charter member, but soon after, mid-50s, 1950s?
Yeah.
So, and your mom might come to the Jubilee. I mean, maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe as you work at it.
Yeah, she's getting up there in age, but I think I can still talk her into coming. And she was a past president.
And
Also.
I just think that's so sweet. It's 75 years, and here you've got somebody that's been there at least 70 years, right? And makes me smile. And I hope she can come. But we certainly understand it's hard for me some mornings to even get out the door. So, I get that. But that would be so sweet.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And actually, that was my introduction to AAUW. When my mother was president around 1962,
Yeah.
I was of the age where I could be very helpful, which meant serving at the luncheons and clearing the plates and doing the dishes.
Yes.
So I was introduced to AAUW at a young age.
And introduced to doing things that just out of goodness,
Right.
not
Just this is what you do.
this is what you do.
Right.
Yeah. Wow. That's such a good legacy, and like I said, I hope your mama can come. I think it's very sweet. It's very sweet. Those are our main topics today. A little bit more about our group, and I hope we get some passion, interest, whether you want to be on the board, whether you want to attend the B, there's still time for that, whether you want to work the elections coming up in November. There's a whole host of things, and again, we'll circle around. The most important one right now is our Trivia Bee, and I just think it's grand, and again, the date, time, place.
March 23rd, Saturday, 5:30 at the First Congregational Church.
Yes, and $50 for tickets. Buy them at Roper's. There's still time. The teams have to be kind of together within the next couple days, but there is still time, and so we would love to have anybody on board because it is a fun evening. Famous families.
And thank you, Sharon.
You're a famous family with Mama. Mama could come.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you and all the work you do, Pam. It's outstanding. And that is just our club. You have all the other things that you are involved in. And again, pretty stellar that you're back in our community and jumped right in. So I love that. So anyway, have a great spring. We care for all of you. Come on board. We'd love to have you. Again, I'm Sharon Watson Hamilton. Thanks for listening today, and we'll talk to you next time. Thank you.